Yeah, I'll be showing you Eureka load balancer, how it behaves and what is the advantage if I use a load balancer, right? Let's see. As per our architecture, okay, as per our application architecture, we are planning to deploy multiple microservices with the gateway. Now, including gateway, if I add one more component here, right, that will add one more beauty to your application. Okay. So, how gateway helping us here? Gateway will allow you to access from any front end to your back end applications. It is a centralized configuration, a middleman between your front end and back end. It will avoid all access related issues that we make sure API gateway is allowed to call all backend services and we configure which all front ends can able to call your backend, right? That mapping we do via gateway so that it will ensure each request will come to gateway and it will go via gateway only. So directly if from admin UI to admin service or manager UI to manager service, if they try to access it also, it won't allow because in cross origin, in CORS, right, we enable only gateway here. Only gateway URL we will configure here, here, here. So apart from gateway server, right, if any server hits, they don't allow that request. So that you could able to control one level of security apart from authentication and authorization applications access you can decline easily if they try to access directly. They can access gateway will decide whether this request should go to your service or not. Now coming to this application, usually cloud will maintain replicas in the background. Replicas we can configure so that cloud will do what if any service go down automatically the replica will be available for users like a failover. It is not coming here. Copy. Can't I paste anything? Okay. It's okay. I'll just capture it. Okay. Now in this architecture, right? I want to include one more service here. I wanted to include one more service, Eureka load balancer. So we will add one more service here, Eureka. We will add Eureka load balancer. How this load balancer will help here. While deploying my backend services, right? I can deploy it, multiple copies instead of running as a single application. I can services while deploying it right in production. Admin service, you have admin server, and you will be having the manager service server. Let's say if you have dedicated servers, or in one single server if you have good enough RAM and memory. While deploying the services, you can run two copies. One can be running on, let's say, admin service running on 9090, and one more copy you can run on 9091. Two ports you can reserve. Same way other services in different machines. When you have when you have two copies of your application available, what you can do, that two copies you can register in Eureka, right? You can register them in Eureka once after deployment, right? You may you may register all your services which are running in backend, right? Which are available in two ports, not only single port. Same application you can run on any number of ports, any number of failures you can have, or clone. Okay, admin service running in port number 9091 in machine. Let's say Linux you have here in Linux machine one, two ports it is reserved. In Linux 2, manage service deployed. In Linux 3, seller service, customer service. And let's say we have one more for delivery. All these can be registered into this Eureka, which is running in a different machine, Linux 5 or 6. All this can be registered here. Now, as I said, right, every request will come to the gateway first. From gateway, it will be mapped to your backend services. During mapping to your backend services, right, first, what it can do, it can approach Eureka and ask in which port number the backend service is available, which is busy and which is free, so that it can consult Eureka. Eureka can help your gateway to tell which service is currently available. It is in 9090 or 9091. Let's say one port is busy with some 10 users are requesting already, that service is busy. So Eureka will identify which is the free service, which service is available, right? If 9090 is busy, then it will pick up 9091. Automatically, user request will forward to the clone copy, one more copy, so that load will be balanced easily. The application load will be easily balanced. You can have any number of copies, at least two copies. If one service is busy, you may approach next service. Just a minute. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Just a minute, guys. I'll just come back. Give me 2 minutes. Yeah. So one more service we will add in our architecture, that is Eureka. Okay. For load balancing, it will help. Let me copy this as well. You all must have this document access, right? Yeah. So how this Eureka will work, we will see. I'll show you one application. Okay. Already I have one. We will implement the same for our application as well. So how to build Eureka server? First, create a Spring Boot project with Eureka server dependency. Spring Boot with Netflix Eureka server. Okay. Now this Eureka server needs two configurations here. In application properties file, mention your server port number 8761 Eureka server port. You can put any port. Eureka client with registered with Eureka false means self registration. It may, I don't want register itself. Only clients will register here. Now just put here one more annotation on main method class, enable Eureka server. So as soon as you add these properties and enable Eureka server, and when you start this server, right? Let me start it. It will start in port number 8761. One Eureka dashboard you will get by default. Eureka server application is starting. Okay, it started in port number 8761. So we have only one Eureka server. So just go and try to access it. Yeah. So this is Eureka dashboard. The default Eureka dashboard you can see here. So if you go to this Eureka dashboard, here you can see all your applications which are registered with it. As per architecture, all our applications need to register here first. No application registered yet. In case if your admin service, if you want to register, what you have to do, in your admin service also you need to add one dependency, Eureka client. Eureka server we added for Eureka server where, in all your client applications, everywhere, right, including web dependencies and the data JPA dependencies. You have to add Eureka client also. This is the client and this is the server. All your applications are clients to the Eureka. So you need to add Eureka client dependency, and you put one annotation, enable Eureka client. For server it is enable Eureka server. For client it is enable Eureka client. So everywhere, right, for every application you need to put at the rate enable Eureka client. One dependency and one annotation. And configure your Eureka server URL. Like cloud config we configured, right? Same. Configure your Eureka client URL. Maybe you can configure this property also in your cloud config project so that you need not to do this configuration everywhere. And this is my application name. Very, very important. Your application while registering into Eureka, right, with this name it will register. Name is important. This name is like a key for your local host which is running in 9090. Now if I start this application, it will see the registered into, straight away it will register into your Eureka server. Which one you didn't understand? Okay. Eureka client means your application. Your applications are Eureka clients. It doesn't mean that you have a separate client. We implemented admin service, right? That itself is a Eureka client. It will go and self-register into Eureka. All your services, correct. Admin service. That is what this is mentioning here. So all your services which are running in multiple ports, I'm running in 90909091, which all ports you have running, right? All that applications should be registered here. So that Eureka is aware of your applications which are running fine, which are not running. Health it will continuously monitor, and it knows when gateway, right? From admin UI team called gateway. Gateway asks Eureka which service is health good now. It will say 9091 health is good. Go to that port number. So your request will go to admin service which is running in 9091. You can have 2 copies, 3 copies, 10 copies, depends on the memory which available. Okay, any number of copies you can register. So this is like consider your admin service or admin service itself. I'll register and show you. Okay. So this is how I need to register. So Eureka client, yes. Okay. Eureka service server, not client. One server we will have. Eureka one server, gateway one server. Only one gateway server, one Eureka server, one config server. These all are the three infrastructure side servers. Only one services we should run. One gateway, one cloud config, one Eureka. And your application copies. Huh? No, no, no. Your applications are Eureka clients. So this is one Eureka client. Admin service is one Eureka client. Enable Eureka client. Your services are Eureka clients. Your admin service. Exactly. Exactly. Your Eureka server name you should configure in your application, so that your applications will go and register into Eureka. So Eureka is your application pool, like connection pool will hold connections, right? Similarly, this Eureka will hold your application URLs. Wherever your applications are running, right? All these applications will go and register here. So that when gateway, when some service request gateway for so and so admin service, with the name only we will configure from here onwards. In API gateway, we will configure admin service name. So it will ask Eureka for admin service what URL is currently up. It will say whichever application URL is currently available, that URL it will provide. So your request will go to that. Let's see this example. Okay. So one client I started, so it is registered here. I named it book service. Consider this is like your admin service. Okay. So this book service is registered here in 9001. I started it. What I will do, I'll go to the service and one more copy I will deploy. 9090 port also I'll deploy. Save and start this application one more time. Already started in 9091 and I configured 9009 9000. So one more copy is starting in 9000. Okay, this one also will go to, see, it is showing the message also, registered book service. Two book services are registered, 9090 9091. If I go here and see, you can see here two services are deployed. Same book service available in two ports, 9000 and 9001. Now imagine your admin service is available in two ports. When somebody calls from front end, right? Yesterday we tried with the gateway URL. Now gateway will ask Eureka, Eureka, which one I should pick up? Eureka will suggest go to 9001 or 900, whichever is available. So if you see, I'll have one more application here, consumer application. From this consumer application, I will be calling, So this consumer also registered as a client. Consider this is one more client like your manager service. Now manager service wants to call admin service, but admin service is available in two ports. Manager service is running in 9100. Now from manager service I want to call admin service. How do I call? From now onwards you need not use any port number. So I have implemented a fin client. This is like your REST client. I named it book service. No URL given. How it know about your book service URL? I mean admin service URL if you consider it admin service. So only name I given. As this application also going to registered in Eureka, Eureka can provide with admin service name, manager service name, seller service, customer service, delivery service. With that names, your URLs also will be registered here. When somebody asks with a name, I need a manager service URL. It's okay, take it. It will provide that URL. So the same thing we are doing here. Okay, what I am doing from here, I am trying to call book service methods. Book slash data, book slash ID. All these URLs are available in this book service. Means in your first client. Here I have REST client. Here I have book slash data, book slash ID, book slash all. These methods I am calling from manager service. If you consider them like admin service, from manager service I am calling them. So when somebody hits manager service, student slash data, from here I am calling my consumer dot get book data. This book data is coming from book service. Which URL it will pick up? Two URLs are available, 9090 and 900. 9001, 9000 I have. Which one it will pick up? Let's start this one as well and see. Dynamically it will switch. Enable Eureka client I have here as well. So this is also one client. Now finally if you see Eureka, you can see two applications registered. Consider this is like a admin service, this is like a manager service. Or consider this is like a front end service. Now from this student service, I want to call book service. So if I call student service URL, right? The URL of student service, if I call student service, student slash data, if I call, it is calling consumer, which will call book service. book slash data. So from here the call will go to books microservice, and this book service slash data will return this response, data of book service running in port number blah blah blah, it will return. What I am doing, that return value here, getting back this return value to book, sorry, student controller, and appending it here, accessing from student service arrow, and that response I'll be append here and send it as a response back. Now see that I will call this service student service URL, student service URL slash student slash data. So the request went to student service. So here you can see accessing student service arrow, and this response from where I got, data of book service running in port number 9000. Your application is running in two ports. Which port response you got? From which server you got response? 9001. Refresh it continuously. Now you can see. Now the response is from 9000. See, continuously this port is switching. You can see, right? So dynamically, your client, similarly dynamically, right? Your clients can able to pick up the most available port, so that seamlessly user operations will be executed. If one server is busy, it will execute another server. Failure. So your request mostly will not fail. In case sometimes due to maintenance, if you want to restart one service, you may restart it. The next available service will be still up. Once as soon as you restarted this, you may down this service, and again you can copy new code and deploy it here, so that your application will not fail. It will be always available. Okay, simple concept, but provides you much advantages. So during deployment into our Linux, right, how many services, backend services we are going to run? One cloud application, cloud config, one gateway, one Eureka. Three infrastructure related, or you may say cloud related servers we run, including your backend services. Five services. Five again deployed into two ports. So 10 ports, 11, 12, 13 ports. Finally, we registered 13 ports into our Linux. So now onwards, who request your applications, backend applications from front end, when you request, gateway only will request your backend applications via Eureka. Via Eureka, what it will get? It will get which service is available currently, so that your application never fails. This is what we call load balancing. This is what we call load balancing. Okay. So tomorrow I will integrate this Eureka with the gateway. Okay. Maybe first 10 minutes I'll show you. Okay. So today I'm not going to continue. I'll stop here. Okay. Tomorrow I'll show this integration, and then we will work on the remaining backend services. Okay. Any doubts so far? Yeah, that's it. In form file we need to add this dependency, and Eureka URL we need to configure. We will do, okay. We will do in our services. I'll share that code with you. Okay. I'm little bit uncomfortable today. Okay. So I'll close this session and we continue tomorrow. We'll do end-to-end application. Okay. Security as well, mail API, everything. Once we done with the complete coding, once we see the flow, right, easily we can understand what's happening. Okay. Yeah, I will add one more service. Okay, along with these, one or two services extra I will add. Okay, one for logging, one logging server I will implement separately. Okay, so Jitkin I will use. Yes, and one mail service also I will add, email server for sending notification and all. Okay, so we are going step by step only, right? We implemented so far one service, one front end. We learned via gateway how to access. Tomorrow we learn via Eureka, and we learned how to configure via cloud config, and we will see how to centralize the logging, and one email service extra I will add. Okay, so that almost architecturally you will be in a good position how the request flow is happening, and we can able to implement all other services. Okay, for each service I'll provide you at least one to implementations remaining, so you can focus. Once done with that, right, almost get calls I will implement everywhere, and we will see how to move them to production as a final step. Okay, then between the things that I need to share with you is big bucket. uh, I'll show you big bucket and maven. Maybe next week, right, we will see them. Once done with these services, once again I'll go with these two tools, and we will see how to commit, how to pull. Okay, the live deployments we will see. Okay, yeah, I think we are in good shape. Okay, uh, yeah, these services we will add. Login service I will add, mail service anyway it's optional. Still we will see by end of the sessions, right? Somewhere if we want to add a email service, Gmail integration I'll show you. And one thing that we need to integrate here is security also. Okay, in local, yeah, yes, yes, yes. In case of local you need to do that, but while deploying it into for production, make it as a environment variable. Have you remember? We can pass this from environment variables also. Yeah, exactly. Yes, like that you can set your server port number also. So while executing in Linux, right, we will give Java command, Java space jar space port number. We can give one port number start, and immediately we can add same command with a different port number, and we can start it, so that you can choose whichever port numbers you want. We will do that. Okay, even in live we will do that. I'll show you that, and I will show you how to mostly, right, uh, domain integration also I want to show you. Okay, otherwise the Linux URLs, hard coded URLs we will use. Yeah, anything will work. At least for API gateway we will add one domain URL, so that front end people will not see like your host IP address port numbers.